Barbara, thank you so much for having us into your store today to talk about the collection of Rookwood that we're going to be selling at internet-only auction in conjunction with you.
Well, thank you for coming, Will. I'm very excited about this auction.
I am thrilled to be doing a sale where the potential purchasers will have the opportunity to come and look at the items in such a unique setting. Your store here is jam-packed with wonderful things that they may be interested in the Rookwood, but they may find something else they're interested in while they're here. Tell us a little bit about your location. I know you've moved recently.
Yes, we were flooded May the 1st when Nashville had that terrible flood, and we had 14 feet of water in our previous location. So we moved down here to 108 Page Road, just off Harding Road, just south of the split of Highway 70 and 100. And it's a wonderful location. I was very flattered to be asked to handle this estate and the sale of these Rookwood pieces. They had accumulated quite a collection and they needed to sell these items to settle their estate. So I took them all in and realized that my best market for Rookwood would be beyond Middle Tennessee. If I could get it out to, across the country, we would, no doubt the clients would do better and the Rookwood would sell better. So I asked Linda Dyer, who has been kind enough to advise me from time to time. She is an appraiser and lives in Franklin, Tennessee, and is frequently seen on Antiques Roadshow. So she was kind enough to come out and look at the pieces, and she suggested that you and I should get together and sell these pieces through an online auction.
Mm-hmm. We're really excited about that. I'm a big fan of hers, and I know she's worked with us on some other projects as well. But I'm glad to be able to work to help you settle this estate and to do it in a way where we can be sure of getting everything sold and doing it in a way to make it easy for people to participate in the auction.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate your coming, and I look forward to having this auction.
Thanks for providing such a wonderful venue.
You're so welcome.
Amber, thank you for coming to Clearinghouse Consignment Interiors to talk about the Rookwood. I'm so eager. I keep looking over here because this vase catches my eye. And I know you selected it as one of the highlights of the sale. Tell me more about it. It's just a stunning piece that I'd really like to know more.
Right. This piece was created during the time of the international acclaim of Rookwood Pottery. They had recently won many awards in expositions around the world, the most famous being the Exposition Universelle in Paris, France, which was the World's Fair in 1889. And so they took their pieces to the World's Fair and won a gold medal there for it.
That happened, I guess, relatively soon after Rookwood started making pottery in the first place.
Yes, Rookwood was founded in 1880 by Maria Nichols. She gained a lot of her design ideas from Japanese pottery, but instead she tried to imitate the Haviland china with the underglaze technique.
We've sold some of that.
Yes, we have sold some Haviland.
I think I can see that in this piece.
And yes, this, as you can see, there is a high gloss glaze over this piece. This may be known as what was called the standard glaze because of the colors that I see in it.
Mm-hmm.
We're not sure of the final glaze of this product, but there are the reds and golds and oranges in this piece that were similar to those of a standard glaze. This is also an underglaze piece because the decorations are actually underneath the final glaze. There's some relief work. If you can feel right here, the piece is actually sticking out a little bit, so you can see that the artist decorated it by placing other layers of clay on top of the initial bisque piece before the final firing and painting of the piece.
Mm-hmm.
Also on the bottom, we have the Rookwood symbol, the date, a shape mark, and also this one was signed by the artist. But this one as well, if you look at the Rookwood mark here, you see an R with a multitude of hash marks around the R. This one has 14 hash marks around the R with also a Roman numeral 4 underneath. This means that the piece was created in 1904.
I see it also has a sticker on here. It says Laura Lindemann.
Yes.
That's the name of the artist.
That is the name of the artist.
And I see it has another number there. What's that?
This number is the shape number. So each of these pieces, most of the pieces created by Rookwood were created out of a mold. So this would have told you which type of mold was used.
I can understand why these are collectible, because not only are they gorgeous, but they also have a lot of information on the bottom, which makes it's rewarding to turn one over or see that there and realize, oh, that's that artist that I was looking for that piece from. There's the date, and there's, of course, I might have 6 others of the same shape, but you can at least refer back to the shape number and understand what it is that you're buying.
Right, and also the most interesting part to me about the marks on the bottom are the date, because you can recognize the history that goes along with it. For example, this small piece here has a date of 1929 on the bottom.
Really?
As you know, this is when the stock market crashed, and Rookwood went through a period of duress, and they had to discontinue their artist decorated due to prices dropping and art pottery being a luxury and people not being able to afford it. So that process was discontinued in 1937.
I see that this has a glaze on it. It's a matte glaze, looks like, and it's a lot simpler piece than that the first vase that we looked at. Is that because 1929, this was a post-crash piece?
No, they did pieces before the crash with similar design. The matte glaze gave the option to have a fine piece with a good texture and color without the extensive decorating needed if you're doing a high gloss piece, because with this one, if you just had the high gloss finish without the design under it, it would just be a shiny piece of pottery. But this has a beautiful color and texture if you feel it's very soft, and you don't need that high gloss finish to make it a quality piece.
I know we've got, was it 39 pieces of Rookwood in the sale and 1 piece of Weller?
Yes.
And we've got all sorts of different glazes and different years. It's really, I think Barbara had mentioned before that there's an exhibit going on at Cheekwood. It wouldn't be that hard for someone to come to the Cheekwood exhibit and then come by the Barbara's store and have a look at the 39 pieces that are here in the auction.
Right, and you would actually be able to look at them closer, since you can probably pick them up here and you wouldn't be able to do that at Cheekwood.
Great.
The last piece that I have picked out to show you is this little vase, and it's an aqua color. It has the same markings on the bottom. We have our Rookwood stamp with the date, which is an L, so this is a 1950 piece, and then the shape mark once again. As you can also see, there is some modeled relief in here, like the first piece, except this one doesn't have the painted decorations, it just has the glaze over it to create the color.
And we don't know who made that relief on the piece, do we?
That is correct. We do not know who made this piece because it is not signed by the artist. But that is because this is after the last period of artist signed pieces up until recently. From 1944 to 1948, after World War II, there was another short period of artist decorated pieces. However, because the glazes were different, these pieces are hard to find, and the company was not doing well at that time. And so this piece is actually one that was created during a low productivity for Rookwood, and so they're harder to find in this age.
Because the correlation between scarcity and value again.
Right.
Right, I see. Great. So is Rookwood Pottery still being made?
Yes, they are. They have actually recently moved back to Cincinnati. They were in the South for a long period of time because they were bought by another company. It has changed hands multitudes of times over the past 50 years. But in 2006, they moved back to Cincinnati and have once again opened a factory there to continue with the tradition of Rookwood that Maria Nichols started.
That's really neat. I know people from Cincinnati take it as a point of pride that the pottery is being made there again.
Right.
Thank you so much for joining us to learn more about Rookwood Pottery. I've learned a great deal, Amber, and I appreciate the research you've done. These pieces are being sold in conjunction with Clearinghouse Consignment Interiors, located at 108 Page Road in Belmead in Nashville. You feel free to come by the store and have a look at them during the inspection period. But these items will all sell to the highest bidders, regardless of price, at McLemoreauction.com.